Hi, I'm Lansing Mayor Andy Shore. Welcome to our second installment in 2020 of Walking Wednesday. If you are a follower, you know we've been doing this is our third year. We have been all around the city. We like to highlight all different areas, every corner of our wonderful city of Lansing. We are one of the most walkable cities with parks and neighborhoods that are fantastic. And here we are on the east side. We're going to look at Prospect Place today. We're going to show it off. We're going to show off all the great things going on. There's tons going on the east side. We're here starting off at the Allen Neighborhood Center, which is right by Allen Marketplace, which is a favorite for me and my wife. Joan Nelson knows that my wife is here picking up our vegetables. We try and get to a variety of the different farmers markets throughout the city. There's incredible things happening at the Allen Neighborhood Center over the next few months. We're going to see some construction. We're going to see some growth. But then when you look throughout the whole area, we're going to make our way to Hunter Park, where we're going to see some new art. As awful as it is with coronavirus and pandemic, one of the positives, the small positives that you take from it is I have a lot of meetings that I do outdoors now. And I was just at Hunter Park last week, sitting at the tables, having a meeting. It's a wonderful park. If you haven't been there, come to the east side, check out Hunter Park. We do a lot of stuff with refugees. We do a lot of stuff. We do walks. We do all kinds of incredible things. When I say we, I mean this community. This isn't just City of Lansing. This is the neighbors. They have come together. They've taken ownership of Hunter Park. We have an incredible pool. We have all kinds of things here on the east side. So this week, we highlight the east side and all the excitement, and I'm looking forward to our 2-hour tour to be able to take a look at everything going on here in Prospect Place and on the east side. So I'm going to turn it over to Joan to say a few words.
Thank you. It's really a pleasure to be part of the Prospect Place walking tour. Thank you for making us a part of this. Prospect Place is really one of the most active neighborhood organizations on Lansing's east side, and we are wall-to-wall neighborhood organizations, about 25 of them in all, and Prospect Place is exceptional. We do a broad range of programs here. We've learned the value over time of working simultaneously in health and housing and food security, food access, youth development, and commercial corridor development. We're standing right now in the Outreach Center of Allen Neighborhood Center, and this is, and among other things, is an enrollment site. We enroll neighbors in Ingham Health Plan, in Medicaid, in ACA. We also offer a pretty robust information and referral program here, linking people to housing and utility and food assistance of various sorts. If we walk on through, I can show you the Multifunctional Food Resource Center that we developed a few years ago called the Allen Marketplace. Just follow me this way. We took possession of an old warehouse, a 5,600 square foot warehouse, and completely renovated it, put up walls, plumbed it, wired it, and so on, and created the Allen Marketplace. And this space now houses our farmers market in the winter months. We have a year-round Allen Farmers Market, of course, every Wednesday, rain, shine, summer, winter. And it also houses our breadbasket pantry, a weekly pantry, where we distribute about 1,400 pounds of produce and about 200 pounds of bread every Wednesday. It houses our incubator kitchens for entry-level food entrepreneurs to come and rent a commercially licensed place and, prepare to launch their food businesses. We offer not only rental of the kitchen and storage spaces, but also a significant amount of business development support, tons of workshops on running a business and one-on-one mentoring. So all of that happens here. It's a pretty lively operation. We also have a greenhouse in Hunter Park, which serves as a hub for urban farming and gardening education for youth and for adults.
And so here we are with Egypt Crone, the Hunter Park Greenhouse Director. Yep. And so she's going to give us some more information about the programs they have here and the things that they grow here. So Egypt, thank you for meeting with us.
Thank you, Delisa. Yeah, so we're a project of Allen Neighborhood Center. The garden house has been around for 12 years now. That's an exciting number of years. So what we do here is we attempt to address food sovereignty through education and empowerment. So our programs are designed and intended to help our neighbors learn how to grow food themselves. So we have about an acre that we are growing under two main management areas. So the areas kind of tucked inside the fence are our main production spaces, and there we're growing food that we actually sell to help recoup costs and cover some of the educational work that we do. And that food all gets sold through another program at Allen Neighborhood Center, which is called the Veggie Box. And it's a multi-grower CSA, which is essentially a subscription program for local food. And then everything outside the fence, which is about another half acre, is what we call Edible Park. And it's a community garden that was originally started by one of the two youth programs that we run through my program. And there is an orchard. There are perennial small fruits like raspberries and strawberries. And then we grow a mix of culinary herbs and annual vegetables. Typically, our youth manages the space, and they're the ones who decide which annual vegetables that we are going to work with that year, and do all of the planting and the weeding. Our youth programs are on pause currently, so we're doing the best we can to maintain the space this year with the labor that we have, which is not the labor that we normally have access to. So, you know, as you look around, there's going to be a lot of weeds and there's going to be a lot of overgrown spaces, but there's also a lot of food. Right before you guys got out here, there's actually a woman out here with her children putting together a beautiful bouquet of cut flowers and Queen Anne's lace and Artemisia and some other things, and had a basket of tomatoes. And that's what we're here for, is to provide a little bit of beauty and a little bit of nutrition for our neighbors. Would you guys like to come in the greenhouse and see what's growing? Right now we have onions curing, so we just harvested our onions, and those will go out partially to our food pantry that happens at Allen Neighborhood Center on Mondays, and partially to the Veggie Box program throughout the fall. And then the rest of the greenhouse is in tomatoes. So we run tomatoes in the greenhouse. We pull, in a good year, 100 to 200 pounds of tomatoes a week out of the space. Right now it's more on the 100 end. In the fall, we pull the tomatoes out of here and we plant our winter crops, which are mostly salad mix, and then some cold hardy annual herbs, things like cilantro and parsley and dill. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. And we are here Monday through Friday, 9 to noon, and we would love to see you and say hello, and always feel free to flag us down and ask what's growing.
Okay, well here we are at Hunter Park, which is one of our exceptional parks in the city of Lansing. We have 111 parks. Anywhere you live in Lansing, you have about a park somewhere about 10 minutes away from you. But Hunter Park is one of our bigger parks, as you can see, as you'll see as we walk around. It's got a lot of different amenities. We've got a really cool playscape over there to my left. We've got a soccer field. There's an incredible picnic table area where you can sit and have some food. There's a hoop house where they're growing all kinds of vegetables and things. There's a pool in the back, which is open most years. Unfortunately, this year, due to coronavirus and the pandemic, it's not open this summer, but it's been open every other summer, and it'll be open again next year. So it's an incredible resource, an incredible amenity here in Prospect Place, and for the whole east side. It's on a bus line, so that makes it easier for people to get here, no matter where you're from, so to use the pool, to use the park. So if you haven't been to Hunter Park, I hope you will get here, and we're gonna make it even easier, because we have a bus stop. Like I said, it's on the bus line, and there's gonna be a whole new big bus stop with an artistic project. And last year, for the first time, we saw some incredible partners jumping in and saying, you're giving out money, we want to match. So CATA did this last year. We created these two beautiful bus stops. If you've been in Southwest Lansing, if you've been in Sycamore Park on the southeast side, you've seen these beautiful new bus stops. You may not know where they came from. Well, they came from a partnership between the city of Lansing and CATA, and they didn't end there. They jumped in and said, we're gonna do 2 more this year. So right here in the spot that we're at, we are going to see a new bus stop. But it's not just a bus stop, it's a bus stop with art. So first we're gonna talk about the bus stop, then we're gonna talk about the art.
Hello, my name is Kai Christensen. I'm the Service Planning and Scheduling Manager with the Capital Area Transportation Authority. Like Mayor Shore said, This is the second year of the partnership between the City of Lansing and CATA to create some new artistic bus stops with enhanced safety amenities. As part of these upgrades, that's one of the big things that we're aiming for here, is to incorporate both safety with lighting and also some real-time bus information for customer convenience. The current bus stop that's here also doesn't have a shelter, so that is in and of itself an added amenity. We're really excited about the incorporation of public art. We think that's a very important piece to creating a community, and having the public art there creates an even safer environment. As we have noticed since last year with our 2 projects, there have been no issues with vandalism at either of those bus stops, so we're very proud of that. This is Jerry Smith. He is our artist for the Hunter Park bus stop, and I'll have him talk about his piece.
Hi, my name is Jerry Smith, and I wanted to do something artistic for the neighborhood on the east side. My inspiration was the African refugees and the diversity of on the east side, and I wanted to make a beautiful bus stop for people to enjoy and to engage with the bus stop, and also come to the east side and experience the Hunter Park experience here. Thank you.
But thanks to Kai and to Jerry, as one of our premier parks, it's going to be even better. And we're just very excited to have the shelter, to have the art. Public art has been one of the priorities that we focused on, really placemaking and making sure that our community looks the part of the capital city. So thank you to CATA, thank you to Jerry. So we're very excited, and next year we'll come back and we'll make sure that you can see what it looks like after it's done.
My name's Yasmina Barawi. I'm with the Prospect Place neighborhood. We're here today interviewing Dave Muley. Dave is a 40-year resident of the East Side. He's also a builder and developer on the East Side, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about the history of the East Side and our housing stock here. Dave?
Well, I'm Dave Muley, and I've lived on the East Side since the late 70s. And I have a very romance with the architecture, the design of the city, and I love the East Side. The thing about these houses, though, is that they have delight. They're cool enough, they have enough detail, they have enough things that people can love about them, that even though they got turned over and misused and abused, they still are here. And now there's sort of this renaissance around, old houses again. I mean, it's always been there, but these have survived. And I've done, 5 or 6 projects here. They're little time capsules, and it's really interesting to look at the history of these buildings and think about it in the context of what happened while these buildings were here. In 1915, when this was built, we were still at World War I. The Spanish flu was 3 years away yet, and all those things. In 1964, the Beatles came, and the television inside was on, and the Beatles were performing. I mean, all the things that happened in life happened inside these houses in normal families. And so when I'm working on them, I'm kind of traveling into the past, you might say, and thinking about those things. I just think that it's important to continue to value these neighborhoods and these buildings. There's a lot of layers of reasons for that, but we do have a really rich stock of interesting old houses that just need investment, and you can see that from walking down the streets.
Thank you so much, Dave, for sharing that history with us of the East Side. And we're going to head over to kind of the heart of Prospect Place neighborhood, which is a little garden that we have built there as neighbors called Pegasus Garden. We'll see you there.
Hi, I'm Lori Wisemantle, a neighbor here in the Pegasus Garden neighborhood on the east side, and this is a plot that used to be a house that had some sketchy foundation stuff going on, so a bunch of neighbors wrote grants, got a handicap accessible path put in, and we've had a changeover of a lot of people involved. A lot of stuff in here is edible, but it's not plots assigned to individual people. It's actually kind of a give what you can, take what you can situation, and it's great. People will be coming by, getting to engage with people you didn't necessarily meet in other situations, so it's this space. It's not a Zoom meeting, it's just here all the time. You might meet people, you might not, and it's the level that you can engage in. We've had a fair amount of produce come out of it, and I feel like is this really kind of remarkable little thing that so many people have pitched in on. So the next door has a whole lot of potential, and our dear neighbor Scott is going to be telling us what his vision is for what we've got next to the Pegasus Garden.
Hi, I'm Scott Reedsma. I own the house you see behind you. This is just a vacant green space lot that I purchased from a local developer. Primarily, I do plan to maintain it as a green space to allow people to do such things as perform flow arts, fire hooping, and just generally hang out. I bring out a fire pit occasionally on the weekends where people can just come together and hang out. This box right here was built through the City of Lansing through the Neighborhood Grant Program. It's a dog doo-doo station. People like to walk their dogs here. And kids like to throw balls at my fence, as you can see. It's a little dilapidated. I have a crazy idea of getting a shipping container to replace the fence and then have somebody spray paint it or put art on it, and then the kids can throw all the balls they want on it, and it provides me storage. And I'd like to incorporate it more with the community garden as well. So if there's an artist who has an idea that can incorporate Pegasus Garden, all the more the better. Beyond that, I just really like having a green space right next to my house that kids can play on and people can utilize.
Hi, I'm Jenny Grau, and I'm one of the leaders of the Prospect Place neighborhood. I've lived here on Lathrop Street for over 30 years, and our neighborhood has been very invested in loving our housing stock. So you may wonder why I'm standing here in front of a vacant lot. Unfortunately, this was the site of a fire a number of years ago, and our dear neighbors lost their home. And then recently, the home next to it, which had been neglected and abandoned for a number of months and years, over the 30 years here, it's been on and off as a house and not a house, came down in demolition. And I'm excited to say that the Ingham County Land Bank is planning to build a brand new single-family home as urban infill on this site sometime in the next year or so. We spend a lot of time helping neighbors restore their homes and connecting them with city programs. We spend a lot of time working on our own homes. I'm in the midst of painting mine right now. It's a great neighborhood of people and people who love their houses, and I'm thrilled that we're going to get one more new one and hopefully some really great new neighbors soon. In addition to loving our houses, we've also really loved our trees, and this neighborhood was planted with centennial trees over 100 years ago, many of which have come down over the years, sometimes in storms, sometimes due to Board of Water and Light pruning. But we have been actively engaged for over 20 years in replacing those trees. And so we've done a grant with Global Relief and put in approximately 30 trees about 15 years ago. And as part of the Board of Water and Lights program, we've been systematically replanting trees the last 3 years. And the city has supported us even planting some of our own trees when we get permission from them according to the locations that they cite. And so we are continuing to try to replace the urban forest and maintain the urban forest, because unfortunately some of the trimming has been so aggressive that we really lost our green canopy. Thanks for doing it.
Thank you. I'd now like to introduce you to Sue Butler. Sue's a neighbor who's lived in this neighborhood for over 40 years. And we're going to talk to her a little bit about why she moved here and why she stayed. Sue?
Sure.
If you can tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I'm Sue Butler. Lived in this house for 40 years with my husband. We bought it then because it was an affordable house, and we had good neighbors, and it's still the case. We still have good neighbors, and I like the diversity of the neighborhood. I like having people who are well educated and also people that are much more modestly employed. I like having a 100-year-old house, and just feeling a part of the history of Lansing is nice for me. It's kind of nice to live within walking distance of downtown, and also a short drive to almost anywhere in the Lansing area. So those are some of the things.
Sue, I know that some of your grandchildren have benefited from Resurrection Church here up the street. Can you tell us a little bit about how they've been involved with that congregation and what it's brought to them?
Sure. It's a very nice family-oriented church. It's a very alive church, and they attend school there. That's one thing I really like about having Resurrection there with the school is in Lansing we've lost a lot of our schools due to population decrease, I think, and I miss having schools in the neighborhood and children around. But we still have Resurrection. It has a good academic, spiritual program, very loving staff, a very friendly atmosphere, and it's been very good for my grandchildren.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
All right. And next on our stop of our neighborhood is Jerusalem Bakery. We're still on our neighborhood tour. Right now we're in front of the Jerusalem Bakery. And I'm here with Lizzie Harmon. Lizzie is one of our longtime residents of Prospect Place. We're going to ask Lizzie a little bit about how long she's lived here and why she stays. Lizzie?
Well, hi. My wife and I moved here in 1999 from San Diego, California, because a good friend from high school lived in the neighborhood and spoke really highly of it. Okay. We love it. We love the neighbors, the activities here. We can always walk our dogs around and feel perfectly safe here. But this is where we're going to stay.
Well, that's a pretty high recommendation. Tell us some of the pearls here that you find on Michigan.
Oh, goodness. Well, the fact that there's water everywhere. The water, the green. Here in our neighborhood, the activities are amazing. I love the get-togethers, the fact that we can walk down to the farmer's market on one end. We can walk over to Jerusalem Bakery, Papa John's Pizza when I don't want to cook. Just an amazing place to live.
Fantastic. Lizzie, thank you for sharing with us. We're going to pop into the bakery and then we're going to head over to Soup Spoon. We are here at Jerusalem Bakery. Jerusalem is one of the favorite spots for our East Side neighbors. Good evening, how are you? Good, how you doing? Well, we are taking a tour of the neighborhood. My name is Yasmina. What are the specialties of the bakery?
Okay. We bake our own fresh breads over here. We make our hummus, everything homemade from scratch, everything made with love, for sure. And, our specialties are the bread that we bake here every day and our falafel sandwiches and the chicken shawarma. Those are the best sellers.
All right, well, our photographer was talking about your baba ganoush.
Is it? Okay, so he like it. Me, personally, I don't like eggplant, but it's okay. If he like it, I'm happy.
Fantastic. And tell us about the background of your cuisine. What specialty cuisine are you?
We are Palestinian, Middle Eastern. I never imagined myself to cook and to all something like this, I just came to the United States 2003. I got married with my husband, and we saw that the guy that was here for 6 months, he couldn't make it, so just took over it, and we start from there. And we start everything by ourselves. We do our recipes, and there was actually a lady that she teach me here, and I used also to call my mom to take recipes from her and stuff. So that's what it is. We work hard for it.
How have you find the welcome here on the east side of town?
Oh, very lovely people. Very lovely. I love this part. I used to live behind the bakery, the first house on Lathrop, and we moved after that because it was so stressful to live next to your business, right. So, but the people over here are very nice people. We love it. We love supporting the neighborhoods. The neighbors are awesome, and they've been our customers since we opened.
Fantastic. We appreciate you being here and sharing your talents with us. All right. We wish you a safe summer.
Thank you. You too. Take care, guys. I appreciate you coming here.
Thank you. Next on our stop is a different type of cuisine. We're going to head over to Soup Spoon Cafe. We are at the Soup Spoon Cafe with the general manager, Keith Buckley. Keith, can you tell us a little bit about the history of Soup Spoon, what inspired it, and what some of your specialties are?
Definitely. Thank you, Yasmina. My name's Keith Buckley. I'm the general manager here at the Soup Spoon Cafe. We've been here for 14 years now. Time flies when you're having fun, especially on the east side. We opened up the place originally to service the neighborhood, and as well as some of the folks who work in the neighborhood, such as Sparrow Hospital. But really, the owner lived in the neighborhood when he first opened the place up, and he wanted to be able to walk to work. So he lived just a couple blocks away with his family. And his inspiration was, instead of having to commute back and forth an hour to find a restaurant that he liked, he thought, why not open one virtually in the backyard? So he could be able to, walk to work every day, come home, see his family, and still be able to get a good day in and be able to work with all the folks in the neighborhood. We've kind of gone through a lot of different iterations over the years. So we started out as just one room in this building here, and just doing breakfast and lunch. And then it's kind of slowly evolved over the last 14 years to become kind of the neighborhood spot that it is today. As you can see behind me, we've got all these great folks from the neighborhood that come in and join us on a day-to-day basis. We've got regulars galore. I mean, so many people that come in and visit us 3 or 4 times a week, sometimes 5 times a week. We have folks who come in for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They'll go start their day off here with have a cup of coffee and relax with us in the morning, come back for a business lunch, and then return for dinner and cocktails after. And it's just one of those things. We kind of serve it. We serve as a community meeting place, especially. We do a lot of things such as we do a CSA pickup. So some local farms have their CSA folks that come in and pick up from us, and a lot of those folks live in the neighborhood also. Same kind of services that the Allen Neighborhood Center offers, but we do the same thing. So one of the things that we do as a specialty here is we do kind of what we like to call contemporary American cuisine, because we do a little bit of everything. So we do everything from, we've got Greek style offerings, we've got some Ethiopian style offerings, we've got dishes that we've gathered over the years working in the industry. I've been in the industry for 27 years. Our management team has over 100 years collective total working in restaurants. So we've drawn inspiration from many different restaurants. We've also all traveled a lot. So I spent a lot of time in Southeast Asia, so I've got a lot of Southeast Asian influence in my food. Nick has kind of Nick, the owner, has the classic Mediterranean stuff that he does. The executive chefs, Dean and Adam, they both bring their own spin. Adam has more of a West Coast spin. Dean has more of kind of a Midwestern, East Coast spin to his food. So we bring these disparate elements together. One of our best dishes, in my opinion, is the cherry bomb shrimp, which is one of our appetizers. Anytime when people come in, there are 3 things that I suggest they get, which is our seafood chowder to start. The cherry bomb shrimp is an appetizer, and they need to finish with a bread pudding. And each one of those things kind of represents something different for us. They're all very unique items, all homemade, which is what we do best, which is all homemade food. Everything that we do here is made from scratch. So we don't bring in frozen products. We do everything, we try to source as locally as possible. We've got a lot of local farms that we work with. We bring people, we've developed a lot of relationships over the years. So after 14 years in business, we've really kind of created a community within the community.
Thank you so much, Keith. We're here at the Soup Spoon Cafe. We're gonna head just across the street, 1 block over to the Fledge, and hear about our incubator. We are now at the Fledge, but before I tell you about the wonderful Fledge, I want to nod over here to our medical model behemoth, Sparrow Hospital, which is just adjacent to our neighborhood. We have the professional building and the hospital itself. Many neighbors walk to make their appointments at the medical professional building and then undergo procedures there at the hospital. We also have Ronald McDonald House here across the street. So we've got lots of access to services here on the east side. But today we're going to talk to Jerry Norris. Jerry is the director of the Fledge. The Fledge is a radically inclusive space that's just been, it's been like a flower blossoming in the neighborhood. Jerry, can you tell us about the Fledge?
Yeah, we are an ideation and maker space and an incubator and accelerator. Our mission on our for-profit side is to create opportunity to pursue happiness, and on our nonprofit side is to assure liberty and justice for all. So we kind of tied together the American dream in helping people, and we do things as simple as handing out groceries every day through our food pantry here. We've been making masks since the beginning of the COVID, so we've got people who sew, we've got 3D printers, we've got all kinds of resources. So when somebody has an idea to make something, the Fledge is a good place to kind of do the start. And it could be something, again, as simple as a mask, or it could be an artist who wants to do a painting, a person who wants to do a song, a person who wants to start a company, or whatever it might be. I guess in summary, you know, if you think about the Maslow hierarchy of needs, you've got people needing, you know, safety and security. They've got their basic needs of food and shelter. We all need, you know, better improvement in our connections. That leads to our self-esteem. It leads to a sense of purpose that all of us strive for. So whether you're somebody that needs clothing or food or housing, you can come here. If you're a professor trying to figure out some technical problem, you can come here. If you're in the middle of your midlife crisis, you can come here and figure out what it is that makes you happy and what you want to do, and we'll try to help you knock down the barriers that might be in your way of getting there. So thanks for coming and visiting with us.
Thank you so much, Jerry. You're a blessing to the neighborhood, and we're
thank
happy to have you here as a resource.
We're lucky to be in this neighborhood.
All right.
So thank you very much.
Thank you. Next on our stop, last but not least, we're going to head over to the Unity Church, which is going to culminate that hierarchy of needs. Thank you. And I'm here with the Reverend Sharon Ketchum. Sharon is the pastor or spiritual leader here at Unity Church. And I'm going to ask Sharon a couple questions about the church itself, the building, how long you've been at this location. And then I know you've undergone some challenges lately, and we'll talk about that and where we might be going next.
Okay. The building's been here since the 1920s. We've been in it for about 15, 16 years. Loving it here and everything, and we're just about at our 1-year anniversary of a devastating fire last September. So we are sitting in the question with how do we bring this building back, make it handicap accessible because it was built 100 years ago. It's interesting thing that happened during the fire, when they pulled down the walls, the charred walls, the bricks are all stamped Unity on the inside.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was, it kind of tells
That was
us,
a sign.
yeah, this is where we're supposed to be. This is where we're supposed to be.
Can you just tell us real quickly about Unity, just the movement itself?
Unity is a spiritual path for positive living, based in affirmative prayer, really people being co-creators of their own life, taking responsibility. You know, it's one thing to pray, but if you don't put feet to your prayer and take those actions, that's why it is such a great partnership with the Fledge down the street. They have been such a gift for us since the fire. And even before then, we kept talking about doing projects together. And so to have this active group right down the street from us that supports us and we can support them, it's a big family. It's wonderful.
So I live here a stone's throw from this building, and I've attended your congregation a few times. And what I really love is when you do your prayer, one of the first things that you pray for is our neighborhood.
Yes.
And that's just been touching for me as a visitor to know how much, how inclusive you are and really grounded right here first in the neighborhood. So we appreciate it.
You know, they often say, would anybody miss you if you closed your doors to a minister? Would they miss your church? And when this happened and we had to go through a zoning change, and the people in this neighborhood wrote letters about what it means to lose us in the neighborhood, and it so touched me. Yeah, we're part of it. It's part of the fabric, yeah.
Well, we wrap up this tour of the Prospect Place neighborhood with the theme Unity. We thank you for featuring us in 2020, and come check out the East Side. We've got lots to offer.
We are the champions, my friends, walking Wednesday to the end.